When I feel like, oh, what are they going to think? Or I feel so, this kind of like low vibrational energy behavior, to get rid of it. Everyone, I am the Sheila Douglas. To those of you who don't already know, actually, Sheila Douglas, but yes, you get what I'm trying to say. So, welcome to the second episode of BeReal. Last video, we discussed about resolutions and journaling, and one of you, well, my love, commented about how she recommended me speaking about 24 things that I will be implementing in 2024 so that it would help most of you be able to set up your. If you hear any sounds in the background, it's just the sounds of kekes moving left, right, and center. But anyways, so she wanted me to discuss 24 things that I will be implementing in 2024 that would help a lot of you set up your resolutions and help you journal. Today, that is what we will be doing. But before we start, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to like and comment and turn on your notification bell. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into this video. First thing that I will be implementing this year is patience. Last year, I really realized that I struggled with a lot of impatience. And I don't know, maybe it's because of I'm used to having things done immediately. So I never really got the opportunity to ever wait for anything. So I never really got the opportunity to ever be patient for anything. So then I realized that, damn, I struggle with impatience. And this is going to be a problem because when you first start something new and you want to excel in it, obviously, you become really hard on yourself. And if there's one thing like YouTube is actually teaching me is patience. Patience is really, really important. Patience will teach you the best way to do something. It will teach you the best way to like create something. Patience will teach you that you can constantly always improve on what you're doing. So instead of being impatient, I'm like, oh, why am I waiting for this right now? What should I be learning right now? Like, what is this moment I'm waiting for teaching you to do right now? This is simply teaching you to prepare for what you're asking for. So, yes, that is what I am going to be implementing in 2024. Second thing I want to implement in this year is praying more. I want to ask God to direct every single step that I'm taking. I do not just want to like do things according to like my own will. I want his will to be done in my life. And that the only way to like ensure that, the only way to constantly get feedback from God is through prayer. So that is the second thing I will be implementing in 2024. Perhaps maybe I overemphasize this a lot, but if you're coming to my channel, you're going to always constantly hear how important prayer is. So that's the second thing that I will be implementing this year. Third thing that I'm going to be implementing this year is showing up for myself more. When I say showing up for myself more, I mean like even when I'm too tired or I feel like I'm feeling a bit too lazy to do something, I'm still going to do it either way because of, you know why? It's going to have an amazing outcome, and I should anyway because no one else is going to do it for me. So the third thing I'll be implementing in this year is showing up for myself. When I feel like, oh, what are they going to think? Or I feel so, this kind of like low vibrational energy behavior, I'm going to get rid of it and I'm going to be showing up for myself more because if I don't do it, who's going to do it for me? Nobody. So I should be able to do. Just so you know, I might not be able to like do 24 things I'll be implementing in one video, so I'm going to do a part two. Fourth thing that I will be implementing this year is intentionality. Instead of doing things for doing sake, I want to be deliberate about everything that I do instead of just doing it because, oh, I'm meant to do it or someone told me to do this. Like I feel like when you do things intentionally, you see a different result and there's this like joy when you do something on purpose. Like you do something with your full chest, you get? When you do something on purpose, when you do things deliberately, you derive a different sense of fulfillment when you're done doing it. So that's the fourth thing that I'll be implementing this year. Next on the list would be consistency. I struggled with being consistent so much last year. Like I'd be consistently doing something. I'd be consistently doing something and then I'd be like, okay, let me give myself a little break and before I'm off. And I do not want to continue that way in this year. I mean, last year at least I was able to like make some tweaks here and there, but it's like I want to be intentional about doing something. I feel like the thing with consistency, if you're looking for motivation to be consistent with something, then my dear, you're never going to get to where you want. I feel like this is where discipline comes into play, and that is next on the list. Sixth one on the list would be discipline. The thing with discipline is that it will take you to places that motivation would never be able to carry you to. And I would want to be gentle on this topic, but the truth is, when you discipline yourself to do something, your life is going to thank you for it. So there's no need to be like sentimental, so emotional about it. There are some times that you genuinely need to be harsh on yourself, and that's why discipline is very, very important. Seventh thing I'm going to be implementing this year is having a mindset of gratitude. I feel like I've said this before, but I'll say it again. You never really know when you're living in an answered prayer. So instead of complaining, I want to be more thankful for the things I have and the things I get to do. Because sometimes like I understand like sometimes you feel stressed, but instead of being like, oh, um, I don't know, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this, you should be like, I'm thankful I can do this. I'm thankful that I have this. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to be able to do certain things like this, instead of complaining about how, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. When you do that, you actually take away so much from the good that you are actually enjoying. I sound so motivational right now. The thing that I want to do in 2024 is step out of my comfort zone. I want to be comfortable in the space that I already have. I feel like I can do so much more than I can already do right now. For me, I look at comfortability. I'm going to call it complacency like this. You are in a room and you have everything that you need for a specific season in that room, and you're just fine with it. But as times are changing and you start to grow and you start to like expand, and before you know, you're definitely going to need to get rid of a few things. You're going to need to go out more and get more things. I want to do that. I want to step out of my comfort zone. I want to be less complacent. I just I want to do things that would require me thinking like, oh, what would my higher self think right now? What would my higher self do? So yeah, stepping out of my comfort zone and being less complacent. Thing that I want to do in 2024 is be more kind to myself, but not too kind to myself to the extent where I become complacent and I start to excuse my excesses. I want to be kind to myself in the sense that I will have some days where I won't be feeling as bubbly as I usually am. There will be some days that will be slow, but that doesn't mean anything has changed. It just means that sometimes you need to calm down and just acknowledge the things that are going on right now. Sometimes you have to approach certain matters like with a softer perspective, not necessarily harsh. So yeah, that's number 9, bringing us to number 10. Number 10 is fear. I saved this unconsciously for the last thing I want to discuss about. Last year, I struggled with so much fear. I realized how anxious I was. Like, I would want to do something, and then I would have like, if I start, this video is going to be longer than I planned. But what I want to get rid of is fear. I want to be more confident in certain things I'm doing. I don't want to like be bothering myself about certain things. Like, I don't want to be bothering myself about things that could go wrong. Instead, I want to like have a much more positive mindset concerning things, because generally speaking, what could go wrong? What could go wrong if I start this? What could go wrong if I approach this? Like, what could go wrong? Absolutely nothing. Like, if you already think something is going to go wrong, something will go wrong. But if you're positive about it and you approach it from a place of confidence, from a positive perspective, a lot of things could be just fine. So, yes, I want to be less fearful, because you know what fear does? All fear does is lie. So we're getting rid of that 2024. So we finally come to an end of this video. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. I will answer. I hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly did. Mwah. Bye.